What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Barry Production here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to install an In-Dash on your 2002 Subaru WRX. Check it out. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to go to your local auto parts store, your local audio store. I went and picked up this dual. It was kind of on the cheaper end, but this is going to get me by for now. It's a lot better than this cheap ass old stereo that's in the car. That's not even the original stereo, but the CD player in it is actually broken. So the In-Dash that I purchased, it comes with the remote. It also comes with the instructions for the wiring. But what I also wanted to eliminate was having to cut out my stock harness from my Subaru and having to wire it into the wiring harness on the stereo. So what I did was I went to my local audio store and I picked up this wiring harness, which it's for a 1990 and up Subaru. And basically what you do with this is you take it and you wire this into your stereo harness, which I've already pre-wired. It's already ready to go. There's some wires here that aren't in the actual electrical tape. The reason being for that is this one right here is supposed to hook up to your brake for your e-brake, and that eliminates you being able to watch DVDs while you are driving. However, I'm going to bypass that, so I left that out. I'll show you what to do with that later on. These other wires that are right here, these ones actually go to your steering wheel wires if you have accessories like the volume and skip track and play, things like that. However, mine doesn't have that, so I went ahead and just taped the ends off and taped it to the rest of the harness that I had already wired in. So this is already ready to go. This will plug in to the stock harness that's inside of your car. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to remove this trim panel piece right here. What I have here is some non-scratching tools. I'm going to take this end, I'm going to go ahead and start over here, and I'm going to start working this end off, and I'm going to pull this whole plate off. Pulled that off. You have 4 tabs on each corner that holds it in. Okay, so once you have your trim cover off, you're going to have 4 Phillips screws on each side of your stereo. You're going to need a Phillips screwdriver to remove these. My process is going to be a little bit longer because I'm going to have to take this out, because I'm also replacing this whole center piece right here, because inside of here it's hard to see with it in right now. A couple of my tabs are broke, so my stereo sits backwards at an angle, and I want to fix that. So I have a new one that I purchased from the junkyard that we're going to be replacing as well. Okay, so after you get your stereo removed, you're going to want to remove the screws for your AC and heater control panel. You're going to want to kind of finesse that up towards the top there. You're going to have 2 10mm nuts that are in the lower corners down here. As you can see, there's one right down there, and then there's another one that's hidden down there. I know it's kind of hard to see. Alright, so in order to get to those bottom 2 nuts that are down in there, if my phone will focus, right down in there that you can see, that one, and this other side, I literally had to take all this off. So go ahead and start with pulling this off first. You're going to have to pull this off. Once you pull this off, well, you're going to have to pull this off. There's 4 tabs on this one. There's 1 tab here, 1 tab here, 1 tab there, and 1 tab there. As you can see on the bottom, 2 tabs, 2 tabs. You got to pull that piece off first in order to get this piece off. This piece, same situation. You just got to work it up. There's 4 different clips on this one as well. There's One clip there, one clip there, one clip there, one clip there. So you got 4 clips. So you gotta remove those pieces first. If you don't remove those, you're gonna have a hell of a time getting to those 2 bottom nuts down there. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. You gotta take your extension with your 10mm socket. You gotta feed it through here. So I can get it to focus there. And that's how you get it on. Once you get it on, you can get the nuts off. And do the same for the other side. Okay, so I was able to get the bottom 2 off, which are connected to that bracket on this old one. Once you get those bottom 2 off, and you get this one and this one removed, then you can start working on trying to get the 2 on the outside and the 2 on the other side. So there's 4 total on the outside that you got to remove 2 to remove this piece completely. Okay, so to get to this screw that's on the top left side, you got to pull your under trim here. You got to pull this out from the tab that's in there. You can see there's a tab right there that this piece connects into. I just went ahead and stuck my no scratch tool in there, kind of pried it down. It popped out, which allowed me to get access to the screw, if it will focus, that is right there. You can see it in there. Yeah, it's right there. It is. So that's the top left screw I need to get to. Already got the bottom screw out on this side. Okay, so unfortunately, to get to the screws on the other side, the top and bottom one, you're going to have to remove your glove box, which there's screws that surround this whole piece. So you're going to want to take all these screws out. You're going to want to lower your glove box, and then you're going to want to get the screws that are obviously on the top and the bottom. So now that you have your glove box undone, it's still attached right here. You want to be careful with that. I didn't feel like fighting that damn clip right now because I fought it before. But just move this out of the side. Once you get your glove box undone, now you can access the top screw here, and you can also access the bottom screw down here, which that's part of the glove box, so that one's already taken out. So we just got the 1 screw left. Now that you have all your screws removed on this and your nuts, you could go in and you can disconnect this 1 connector back there. That 1 connector connects to both your cigarette lighter and your light for your ashtray. So just disconnect that main one that's right there, and then you should be able to pull this whole piece out. As you can see, we finally got it all removed without having to disconnect this. It was definitely a pain in the ass. I definitely had to take off a lot more than I had expected just to replace that piece. That's the old one. Like I said before, I'm replacing it because these tabs right here, as you can see, are broken, which was making my stereo lean back. So installation is the same process as removal, just reverse. Okay guys, I just got back from the auto parts store. This is the ashtray light bulb connector. The one I pulled out of the one I got from the junkyard, its edge of it was cracked. This one is not cracked, as you can see. So I'm going to replace the light bulb. If you're going to replace the light bulb, you're going to need a 74. That's the number for the light bulb. I'm sure a 73 would work, but the 74 is what was in it when I pulled it out, so I just went ahead and went with the 74. The 73 is a 1.1 watt. This one's a 1.4 watt. Okay guys, so as you can see, the new light bulb is working. However, it wasn't working at first, so I thought it was something wrong with the wire. So I swapped the old wire with the new wire and tried different options, trying to figure it out. Tried seeing if it was this old wire harness on this old one and not the new one. But the issue is the light bulb. Let me show you real quick. Let me turn it off. So the issue was with the new light bulb, those little metal tabs, they were squished completely against the light bulb, which wasn't allowing it to make contact with inside the connector, those metal tabs in there. So what I did was I took my knife and I just separated those a little bit and plugged it in, and it made contact, and now it works. So if you replace your light bulb and it's not working, definitely open them tabs and try plugging it back in to see if it works. Now we can start getting the stereo back in, the aftermarket stereo. Everything else took a lot longer than I had expected. Okay, so this wire right here that you're supposed to ground to the e-brake wire, we're actually going to ground it out to the stereo ground that connects on the side of the stereo. Hopefully by grounding this to this, it will bypass the DVD safety mode. That way you can play DVDs while you are driving. Alright, so now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your old stereo. You're going to want to remove your old stereo holding plates. So you got 4 screws on both sides. That's the right side as indicated, and that is the left side as indicated. We'll do one plate at a time, transferring them over so you guys can see. Okay, so now that you have your plates on for your stereo, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to plug mine in. I'm gonna turn it on. I'm gonna make sure it's working properly, make sure everything's wired up correctly. Even though I have the harness in there, I just want to make sure the instructions were right and everything seems to be working properly. I'm also going to check to make sure that DVDs work. I have this grounded, or this brake wire grounded into this ground, which connects to the side right here. So we'll plug that in, we'll play a DVD, make sure the DVD works. Then we're also going to make sure the CDs work. And then also I am going to be doing an antenna delete on my car. I'm going to get rid of this old antenna, this old whip antenna that's up here. I'm going to get rid of that and I'm going to replace it with a windshield antenna. So I'm going to go ahead and wire in this antenna wire extension because it's going to be rerouted. It's going to come up and then there's going to be a new antenna that's sitting up here in my windshield. That will be for another day, but I'm going to go ahead and get this wired in. That way I don't have to re-pull my stereo out and re-disconnect the antenna to pull the old antenna out. Oh. Alright guys, well, she is working. Stereo is working good. I was a little confused at first. I had everything plugged in and I wasn't getting any power. I thought this button up here was the power, but you gotta click in on this button, which turns it on. So everything seems to be working good. Messed with the settings a little bit. A little confused. I got messed with it a little bit. I can't exactly figure out where the bass and treble levels are. I was kind of messing with it in here, but this is all a little bit Greek to me. I'm used to just your regular bass treble knobs and stuff, so I'm gonna have to mess with it a little bit. CD's working. I'm gonna go inside, I'm gonna grab a DVD player. We're gonna put a DVD in and see if the DVD plays while it's in the started position with the e-brake down. Alright, so now we're gonna try the DVD, see how this works. Put in one of my favorite movies here. Check this out, see if this works. Car is currently off, just in the on position. So we'll get it in, see what it does. Looks like it's working so far. So hit play movie. Maybe. Play movie, we'll do full screen. Alright, well, that seems to be working with the car off. We're going to go ahead and start the car now. We're going to put the e-brake down, see if it still works after that. Car's running. Seems to be doing some thinking. So far it's working. It's working. We're going to go ahead and put the e-brake down now. E-brake's down. Alright guys, that's that. So if you want to get your DVD player working, to be able to use it while you're driving, that's what you got to do. yeah, go ahead and shut it off. E-brake back up. So DVD player's working, CD player part of it's working. Now all you got to do is you got to put your four bolts back in and put your trim back on, and you're good to go. Last 4 bolts, screws, plug them in here. Yeah, put our last 4 screws back in. That's a successful install of the dual In-Dash stereo. Everything works. Now I just got to get the trim piece back on. I'm gonna go ahead and clean that up and get that back on there. Alright everybody, that is the removal and installation process of your new head unit in your 2002 WRX, as well as the removal and installation of your center dash piece here. Trim is back on, radio's sitting in there perfectly straight and flush. No longer tilts back like it used to. I just want to say thank you to everybody who took the time to watch this video, and until the next video, have a good one.